Hello, this is Chrishena Stanley, owner and managing broker of STK Property Group, and thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Always Bet on the House. We are absolutely thrilled to be sitting with the visionary leader, Patrick Brennan, the CEO of Red Ridge Development, and we're here at one of the most transformative new neighborhoods here in Las Vegas, Symphony Park, and we're at Cello.
That's right.
Tell us about it.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you for coming today.
We're honored to be here.
Absolutely. And it's great to speak with you and all your viewers. And welcome to Symphony Park.
It's gorgeous.
It is a very dynamic neighborhood. A lot of people have really discovered all the growth that's been occurring over the last 5 years.
Yes.
The Smith Center, which is one of the top global performing arts theaters, has over 2,000 seats and actually gets some of the highest Broadway shows like Hamilton, Book of Mormon. The Nevada Ballet Theater works out of there, performs out of there. So does the Philharmonic. And there's a Discovery Children's Museum. That was actually finished around 2014. So there was some excitement around Symphony Park, but in the last 3 to 4 years, you've seen significant amount of development.
It's exploded, right?
Exploded. We've had multiple multifamily buildings that have come through, Park Haven, Oric. We have 2 additional, another mid-rise of 275 units, another high-rise 22-story, first residential all-for-rent apartment building in Las Vegas. That's called Capella. Both of those multifamily buildings will be delivered later this year in the fall, and those are being developed by Southern Land Company. And then Jackson Shaw out of Dallas is developing a 441 room hotel that's both AC Marriott and Element, which is pretty incredible. You also have a Pritzker award-winning architect with Frank Gehry, who designed the Lou Ruvo Brain Institute, which is also the Cleveland Clinic. They do a substantial amount of brain research, Alzheimer's, and other studies related to the brain. They're actually expanding. They're adding 100,000 square foot of medical office, surgical center, treatment center. So that's also coming to Symphony Park. We also have the late Elaine Wynn, who is doing a partnership with her foundation with Los Angeles County Museum of Art called LACMA. And that will be a second Pritzker award-winning architect, Francis Cure. So pretty incredible. Yeah,
dynamic. It's amazing.
Unbelievable.
So you're a true visionary in seeing where there's opportunity and growth. Mm-hmm. And you definitely see it now as everything's being built. But what made you get excited about building and developing in this area and the idea of live, work, play, and convenience of living?
Absolutely. So I'm actually born and raised in Las Vegas.
Third generation Nevadan.
Third generation Nevadan.
Love it.
Exactly. Now, I have daughters that are 4th generation.
How fabulous.
Yeah. So
obviously you love Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
And Nevada.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the best place to live in the country for multiple reasons. But I grew up, just a few miles away from here. So I've always known about downtown, as even going through high school and then coming back here for my master's at UNLV. Downtown started with a few interesting bars, and then now it's exploded to what it is today, and then the exciting future. But really, when the idea came around Symphony Park and working with the city, because the city is actually who master planned this development, it was all about bringing what other cities have that Las Vegas doesn't.
Correct, yeah.
Which was residential, retail below, walkability, be able to go and, take your dog or your kid downstairs, get a cup of coffee, get your groceries, run into your neighbors without actually having to call them and get in your car and go and meet up. So we didn't really ever have that. And, I'm fortunate that I developed all across the country. And I saw a lot of cities that kind of started where Vegas is at today.
Right.
Austin, Texas, Charleston, South Carolina, Denver, Tempe, Arizona. And so as we started developing in those cities, you could see certain key elements that we started to really notice in about 2017, 2018 of Vegas starting to mature as a city and really needing a dynamic neighborhood and a downtown.
Right.
So it's been a huge growth period for Las Vegas. Obviously, we've seen it over the number of years.
Yes.
With Henderson, Summerlin becoming more developed, North Las Vegas, the Southwest region. But what happens is when those cities or suburbs of our city start to really grow and mature,
and become
then what naturally happens is we end up having a little bit more traffic, right?
A lot more traffic. Yeah, correct.
A lot more traffic.
So convenience of living and saving time having to drive.
Exactly. So there's always a recoil back to the city center.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've seen it time and time again.
Right.
And that is so, I mean, the forethought and the foreshadowing of what's to come is great, because who wants to waste more time than they have to of their day, like behind the wheel? Because that's probably your most unproductive time, right?
Exactly.
So to be able to cut time out and, have everything within 5 or 10 minutes of each other, everything you need, your social life, your work life, play, gym, everything. I mean, convenience of living is priceless, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to be in this location, it really is a retreat, but it's in proximity of everything.
Yeah.
We have the 95, we have the 15 freeway. You're 10 minutes, 5 minutes to the north end of the strip, 10 minutes to the south, 15 minutes to the airport. You're about 3 minutes away from the Arts and Brewery District.
Great.
We're right around the corner from the medical district. So all these dynamic neighborhoods are really providing a great accessibility to Symphony Park. But when you come to Symphony Park, the neighborhood is so unique because of our private sidewalks, because of the safety aspect, because of the culture, the museums, the Smith Center. It really feels like you're in a completely different neighborhood.
Right.
And the first thing that people always say is, wow, I don't feel like I'm in Las Vegas anymore.
Right.
It really feels
it really
something
does
different.
feel like you're something in another place. And it's so green and it's just gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah, we have enhanced sidewalks. They're about 15 foot wide. So really, as you walk around, you're constantly seeing children and dogs and pets
people
running
walking
around.
their dogs. There's so much life and energy here.
Exactly. And a lot more to come. We have more restaurants and bars and coffee shops we'll be announcing. So again, it really goes to the culture of Las Vegas.
Yes.
And another big part of that is the fact that we're really focused on supporting local businesses.
Which I think is amazing.
Yes, because I saw that as we developed in Austin, Texas, that there was a really focus on keeping it local.
Right.
And keeping the economy within Las Vegas.
I think that's so important.
Absolutely. And you also get more flavor. You get something that people want to explore.
It's more unique to the place.
Exactly. And it speaks more to the individuality of the city.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like you're going to just another area in another city. You actually come to explore here, and you actually get to have a great community of Las Vegas. So we've been really focused on supporting local businesses and getting them into our retail and our restaurants. And it's working, and you really shows as well.
Yeah, I think that's amazing, because it does give it a unique feel aside from any other place when you do support local, because there's so many cities that have main drags. Like, for instance, in South Beach you have Lincoln Road, which used to be very much local and interesting boutiques and restaurants, and then it became more commercial with Apple and the larger stores, and it kind of lost its flair. It is really nice to have some place be very local, and it keeps it unique, and it gives you a reason to go there, because you can't find it anywhere else.
You can't. And quite honestly, Las Vegas is really finding its identity.
Right, I do agree with that.
And its authenticity. And we're starting to see, as much as we love all of our phenomenal restaurants on the Strip, there's amazing talent, and they're starting to peel off of those main restaurants, and starting to make their own independent restaurants. Right.
Which is
that allow them to be more exploratory within their food and their offerings. And you're seeing that draw of downtown really being the local spirit of Las Vegas, but now all of a sudden the tourists are starting to find out
and explore that, and come
well.
Off the Strip, and because there's so many amazing places off the Strip,
Right. Absolutely.
and we just have to give them a reason to go out and explore those.
Yeah.
So I grew up in New York, so how I describe Vegas, because I absolutely love Vegas. I've been here for going on 5 years, and I always say it is it's a small town with big town amenities, just because I like the convenience of living, and you have, the best restaurants on the Strip. You have access to all these arts and entertainment, everything. But the spirit of the people, it's very friendly, it's very easy to get around. But now with neighborhoods like this, it's becoming, I still think it keeps that flavor, because that's said totally in a complimentary way. But then also this adds where it really does become more of like Las Vegas to live than the thought of Las Vegas just as a place you visit. Mm-hmm. So what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think, it's great because I think you've got to experience that being here in 5 years. And what a lot of people are starting to recognize is looking at the Strip in the reverse way when they come here. So typically people who are used to visiting Las Vegas are very inward in the sense that they don't really leave the Strip. And they always look at it as sort of a place they can be here for maybe 3 days, 4 days max.
Right, exactly.
And then they need to go back. Yeah. But when you actually reverse that and you look at living outside of the Strip, you see the Strip as an amenity, and it's best in class, where you have access to now all of the sports teams, the Golden Knights, the Raiders, the A's coming in, Formula One, which is a global sport. We have access to, again, some of the top restaurants in the world, best in class shopping, spas, and we have a lot of friends that come and visit. So there's constantly something to do always on the Strip, and now it's becoming so dynamic that it's even hard to keep up with who's going to be here every single weekend.
Right.
But when you reverse the mentality, or they start to see that as being an amenity that they can select very purposefully, that you can go to the Sphere or go to a game, but then you can retreat out of it, it becomes a pretty magical place.
It really is. I don't think I would ever leave Las Vegas after having experienced it. It's amazing. It is very magical, because you do have the calmness of when you live here, you do have the calmness of off the Strip, and it's a very normal lifestyle. And now it's a very social, walkable, live, work, play lifestyle. But to have all of that in your backyard and accessible to you, and it's just right there, you can't beat it.
Right. And it's there when you want it.
Right, exactly.
24/7.
Exactly.
24/7.
Any time of day, night,
there.
whenever.
It's there. It's there. And you'll always have people visiting.
Right, but it doesn't have to be a lifestyle, because that, I think, is one of the biggest misconceptions. Because when I told people I was moving to Las Vegas, they're like, Las Vegas, what, you're going to live on the Strip? And I'm like, you do realize that it's like 3.5 miles, right? Like, it's like I'm not living on the Strip.
Right. Yeah, we're nearing almost 3 million people living in the city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people to fit 3 million people on the Strip.
Right,
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. But the great part is, as the city becomes more dense and populated and attractive, because Las Vegas is attractive for so many reasons, the neighborhoods like this are so important. Because we have to start going vertical, and we want access, like easy access to things within our neighborhood.
Yeah, I think, and people being wise, that you can, Las Vegas is also very tech forward.
Yes.
So you see that we're one of the first cities to actually adopt the driverless cars.
Yes.
And we're starting to advance that as well. So being in Symphony Park and the close proximity to all these now kind of individual neighborhoods that are coming together with all their unique character, but then also the accessibility to the Strip, it really gives you easy accessibility, right? Which again is, I think, something that's so unique specifically to Symphony Park, because you aren't 20, 30 minutes out in the suburbs, which is great because you can kind of really get away from some of the hustle and bustle of the Strip.
Yes.
But if you live in a neighborhood this close, it actually really is whenever you want it, it's right there.
Yeah.
And then the airport as well.
Oh, yes.
When we talk about our airport, there's very few airports in the world that have as many international, domestic flights. And for locals, we always call it reverse commuting, right? Even on the airplane. Because think about it, if you're coming from another city to Las Vegas, they're bringing all these planes in on a Friday.
Right, so they can,
and then we get the added benefit of getting cheap flights leaving Las Vegas on Friday.
Right,
and
which
then
is
the
fantastic.
Reverse, and then the reverse coming in back on a Sunday or a Monday.
Right.
So, there's a lot of these little tricks that
benefits
once you become a local, that you actually get to learn and know about. And then that's why people say once they move here, it's really hard to leave.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, I've experienced that. And he's absolutely telling the truth. So now this, I mean, Cello is absolutely gorgeous. It is a building that offers 5-star amenities in condo living, hotel amenities in condo living. What do you want to tell us about this gorgeous project?
Yeah, this project really came about because we haven't had a luxury condominium high-rise, or actually any condo high-rise, in about 15 years since City Center. And, you know, you see the dynamic growth, especially in high-rise luxury living across the country. And I think for Las Vegas, this was a huge opportunity for individuals who are used to that lifestyle or want that lifestyle, or empty nesters that are out in the suburbs, to now want that lock and leave, but their expectation is very high.
Right.
So 15, 20 years ago, you didn't really build as many amenities as what the expectation is for today's living. So for us now, we have, you know, all of our pet-friendly amenities. So we have a pet spa, we have a pet park, we have a whole second floor dedicated to wellness. So we have all full functional gym, cardio, spin studio, yoga. We have a whole spa that has steam rooms, sauna, massage rooms, relaxation lounge, cold plunge. We have guest suite amenities. So we have 2 guest suites. So if you have family or friends that are staying, you can reserve those and just pay a cleaning fee. And they have access to
so just a cleaning fee.
Just a cleaning fee.
See, that is amazing in itself, you know?
Right. And then we go up to the 7th floor, 25,000 square feet, indoor-outdoor space with resident lounge. We have an exhibition kitchen. So if you want to bring in a chef or you want to cater food and host a party, we have a great bar. You can bring in a bartender. And then we have co-working space. So again, if you want to just take a break, if you're working from home, you want a change of scenery, we have indoor-outdoor. So you can work inside in a boardroom or one of the private offices, or you can sit outside next to a fountain and work. And it's
have
beautiful.
That tranquility.
Exactly
you
right.
literally don't have to leave Cello once you move in. Like, this is your whole life here.
Exactly right.
I don't think I'm going to leave. I'm going to stay here forever.
Good. Most people say that when they come down to Symphony Park.
Right?
Once they get the full experience,
it's amazing.
It's pretty incredible. One of the biggest compliments we get from people once we've given a full tour is this really going to happen? Is these renderings, is this real? Because this is so incredible.
Yeah.
I almost don't believe it.
Right.
But if you go to other cities, this is the expectation now.
Right. Yeah, it's reality.
So we're bringing that expectation and we're leaping forward about 15 years of what the offerings of high-rise luxury living is today.
Right.
And then you have the added dynamic of the retail, the grocery store, coffee shop, the museums, the Smith Center, all within about a block and a half of each other.
Which is amazing. I mean, that's what really makes it sustainable, is that you have the convenience of all these things that you need on a daily basis without even having to get in your car.
Exactly.
You know,
and
that's perfect, because I don't like driving, and I don't think people like me on the road either.
No, I think people really like not having to utilize their car when they don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And then, on top of that is, again, you become friends with your neighbors.
Yes.
And there's, being from New York, there's always an added benefit of just walking out your front door.
Right.
And
I love
you run
people
into the business
and just walking. It just gives you a feeling of energy and just having that right there,
Yep.
It's
exactly
very nice. And then also talking about sustainability, and you guys were able to get the LEED trademark on the building, right?
So we'll be LEED equivalent.
Okay.
So we utilize a guidance of LEED. We actually incorporate a few different ones. We found that, incorporating certain elements, so LEED, Green Globe, there's a number of them. So instead of going directly with one, we found added benefit of actually pulling from a few different ones.
I think that's so smart.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah. It's as each one has great benefits, it really kind of allows us
it's even better. So it's like environmentally conscious and everything.
Yes. And we look at that a lot, especially given our environment. So we're very sensitive around, the heat, angle of the building, how the shadows work, sun studies, how the wind works.
Yes.
So we do a number of studies to make sure that we're utilizing the best materials to accommodate the climate that we're actually building in.
Right, because those are the two big things in Las Vegas, is the wind and the heat.
Right.
But luckily we don't have to worry about much else, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and you'll notice that one of the design elements, which is very unique to our project, is we don't have a lot of step-out balconies. What we do have is all functional Juliet balconies.
Yes.
Which means that's a big slider door with a 42-inch glass front, which would be normal like a balcony railing.
Right.
But we didn't limit it to just one area. So you actually have it in your kitchen, in your family room.
Oh, wonderful.
In the den,
so you can get
the
fresh
bedrooms.
air circulating and yeah.
So what you typically see in a big custom home in one of the suburbs where you have these beautiful
Indoor,
slider
outdoor,
doors
that
has that indoor-outdoor living, we actually created that same element in a vertical building.
Which is fabulous.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen that. Really.
Right. No, it's very new. We're one of the first projects to actually incorporate that, because most buildings only have for a window functionality, you kind of turn it and
It's
you can open it about 2 inches.
Right, yeah.
Right?
It's very limited.
So for us, now you have full slider doors that actually open up. So it's
you're
all
a part, like
fresh
the
air.
city is your home. You know,
Exactly.
you let it all in.
Yeah.
I
and
love
then
that.
if you want to take a trip, you can just shut and lock all the doors.
Right.
You don't have to worry about the wind or
Anything,
dust
damage
or
or
anything
anything.
happening. And then, you don't have to buy outdoor furniture too.
Right.
So you can have.
Right, to worry about that flying away while you're away.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Because it does happen.
Yeah. So again, that's something from a local of really understanding how to develop specifically in our city that we pay special attention to.
Yeah, you've thought of everything, really.
Thank you. I mean, we spent a lot of time, our architect, our design team, our consultants, our contractor, it's really best in class.
Yeah. So Perkins Eastman is the architect of the building, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And why did you choose them to work with?
So I've actually worked with a majority of the team members before at another firm. And then they recently moved to Perkins Eastman before we started this project.
Okay.
But we were also excited to work with Perkins Eastman because they have a great depth of different services and project that they've worked on, specifically around this being such a large mixed-use development.
Yeah, it's huge, 61 acres, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That our lead designers and lead architect team could pull in other members from other past mixed-use projects from around the country that really lended towards the overall design and aesthetic of this project.
Well, it's clearly a great choice because, I mean, this place is it's just breathtaking. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
great compliments to them.
Everything is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So you guys all did it collaboratively, an amazing job.
Thank you.
So
we've actually already, before even starting construction, we already received about 6 design awards from the International Property Awards.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, look at all these awards.
So even before breaking ground,
kudos to you.
Thank you. and all these unique and small details add up to such an incredible project that, like I said, even before breaking ground, we've already started receiving design awards, which is incredible, and it's a really big compliment to the design team as well.
Yeah, to you and the whole entire project.
Yes.
Well, I'm ready to move in.
Good. We're excited to have you as a resident.
Yes,
you're a
I'm
perfect
excited,
fit.
and I have my fur baby.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
He'll be pampered, so I love that.
I know.
That's my only little baby.
Absolutely. And you see, the viewers can't see, but we have these huge glass doors for our sales center. And I would say even just having this interview, we've had about a dozen dogs walking back and forth.
That's what I noticed as well. I was going out to talk to them earlier.
Yeah, and that's the point too. And even for our retail and our promenade and our plaza, we'll be very pet friendly. So you can bring your fur babies with you.
Yes.
They can sit outside. They can sit on the patio. It's really meant to complement all styles of living, specifically around our little 4-legged friends.
Love it, love it.
Absolutely.
So to close this out, we always get a fun fact. So tell us a fun fact about you that nobody knows yet.
Ooh, well, typically
family.
I would say typically my fun fact is always that I'm from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's usually always the shocker. I guess a fun fact is I also worked on City Center.
Yeah?
So City Center, I actually worked on that project. So it's great. We pulled a bit of inspiration, and a lot of the team that actually is a part of this project are all City Center alumni.
Oh, wow.
So you even get the added benefit
Of them having that
of
experience.
the experience of the last large mixed-use, high-rise luxury residential on this project as well.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, Patrick, how can our viewers find you on social so they can make this home?
Absolutely. So our Instagram handle is Cello Tower Residence. That's CELLO, like the instrument. They could also email us at hello@cellotowerresidence.com, or they can always go to our website and there's a contact form you can fill out. at cellotowerresidence.com.
I love it. I love it. Well, check it out as soon as possible, because this place is absolute perfection and you will live a very nice lifestyle living here. I am not leaving for the next 10 years. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Always Bet on the House, and you can find us on social at Always Bet on the House.